Welcome back guys to the another video. And today's video I'm going to be discussing about the skinny fat type. What is skinny fat? What are the causes of skinny fat? What How do you become skinny fat? What is the solution to skinny fat? The diet, the nutrition, the sleep. And we're going to be going deep into biomechanics and trying to understand the kinesiology of what are the potential causes of skinny fat, and how do you get rid of this trap and achieve a sustainable great physique in the near or in your journey, right? So skinny fat, basically, if you look at a skinny fat is not merely a person who has absolutely no shoulder definition, whose chest is very saggy. You can say it's very loose, a saggy chest, absolutely no leg definition. A lot of belly fat is accumulated on the lower side of the region. There is a lot of excess fat accumulation on the waist. Love handles is prominently noticeable while we try to judge the body, and more amount of fat mass is visible, and the muscle to fat ratio is extremely low. And these are the consequences of being a skinny fat. From what we look at the body frame and the body, understanding the body composition, its structure, and trying to figure out what skinny fat is. So skinny fat is not merely I would say, an ectomorph, because ectomorph potentially don't have fat mass. They don't have muscle and they don't have fat. So skinny fat is the reverse of it, where muscle to fat ratio is relatively low. They have a potential of putting a really incredible amount of muscle mass, incredible amount of definition, but due to the several amount of factors, like either they must be drinking or smoking, or due to inactive lifestyle or sedentary lifestyle changes, or maybe you were overweight, you had gained a lot of weight, and then you were on a cutting transformation phase where you had to lose a lot of pounds, and due to consuming consistently low amount of calories from a certain point of time throughout your whole journey, that lands you in a skinny fat phase. And I understand, guys, it's quite exasperating to get out of the situation. Sometimes you might infuriate, sometimes you might feel distressed about it, but I'm here. I am the transformation expert. I will guide you to the step-by-step process, the diet, the nutrition, the what are the biomechanics, and what are the causes of skinny fat. So let's get deep into the detail, right? So as we understood, skinny fat is an ecto and an endo. So ecto means you are skinny, and endo means you have a fat mass as well. So you are a combination of ecto and endomorph, ecto endo. So these are the typical classification of what skinny fat guy lands in. And lot of people who are obese, lot of people who are overweight, they when they try to cut down their weight, and when they try to be in a consistent calorie deficit diet for a consistent amount of period of long time, that may hamper and they may tarnish the growth. And as a result, being in this phase for a long time is not advisable, guys. So therefore it is always recommended by fitness experts and fitness influencers that once you are in a period of overweight, you have to decrease your calories. I That is totally understandable. But after a certain amount of time, when the body hits the plateau, the body stops producing results, and as a result, instead of gaining muscle mass, you try to put on more fat. So no matter if you're in a calorie deficit, no matter if you're working out, but you still don't seem to get results. Many of the dudes have a lot of problems, like, I am working really intense hard, I'm working really hard, I am decreasing my short periods, I'm increasing my progressive overload, I'm sweating really hard. Sweating doesn't matter, guys, doesn't matter, dude. 60-70% results are stimulated from the diet, guys. So no matter how much amount of potential hard work you put in the gym, or potential hard work you put in your workouts, your workouts and interest, but if your diet is not up to the mark, you won't get the stimulatory results in a period of time. So guys, diet is the main. So we're going to be talking about what diet and what training should we do. But first of all, let me address the common misconceptions and the common problem which many of the people have about skinny fat. They think that skinny fat is just merely a disorder. Probably my body doesn't stimulate enough testosterone levels than the other individuals, like compared to the endomorphs or the mesomorphs. These are typically the misconception, guys. It is not basically a disorder. I would say it's just a stage where you land up, and because of your lifestyle and the food choices you land up, that potentially contributes to a major factor in being a skinny fat person. So the amount of food choices, number one, the amount of lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle are you living? Are you inactive? Are you going out? Are you working out? Maybe 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. What kind of a person you are overall? Are you hardworking? Maybe let's say as a professional, are you a student? Are you a college student? Are you a school student? What kind of a person are you? So basically, lifestyle and the amount of food choices. Are you eating healthy? Or are you a person who quite often eats a lot of junk food, eats a lot of junk, probably a lot of carbs, probably a lot of fast food, pizzas, donuts, ice creams, cakes, pastries, and a lot of fast food, etc. So basically, in order to transform your body, you have to completely eradicate, not eradicate, I would say, completely eliminate, or maybe you can have, if not elimination, you could probably reduce the amount of intake of these foods. Probably you just once a month, or maybe once, twice twice in a week, that's it. So probably once you start doing this, and once you focus on clean, healthy diet, by clean, healthy foods, like switching to fruits, switching to veggies, having a lot of protein intake like eggs, chicken breast, mutton, maybe beef or Turkish grill, or maybe a lot of freshly baked, freshly baked protein, freshly baked chicken, or lot of protein intake foods are available right now. Maybe beans, maybe soya beans, or maybe spinach, broccoli. These are the foods which contain high amount of nutrients, and basically they fill your appetite as well quite better as compared to the other foods. They have low calorie and very high nutritious value as compared to the other foods. So make sure you consume these foods on a regular basis. Make sure you have them in a bowl, at least one bowl, at least one serving, and make sure you train very hard in the gym. So basically, we're talking about the healthy fats, right? So these are the protein options. Now I have that I mentioned, and talking about the healthy fats. Healthy fats, you can have a lot of options, like for example, cashew nuts, like almonds, walnuts, probably berries, some fruit, blueberries, some pistachios, which are the best source for stimulation of testosterone, probably in men. So you can have all these options which I have given. And talking about the carbohydrate intake, yeah, this is the main important part of the conversation or the video. Uh, Talking about carbohydrate, I wouldn't say going really extreme by drop not having carbohydrates at all. That is going to be complete madness, guys. It is going to be a detrimental on your metabolism overall. Because of the metabolism that is going to be affected, you won't be able to focus and completely recuperate from your workouts effectively. And therefore, it is essential to keep your carbohydrates at a minimum. Let's say a low carb. Let's say if you're having two bowls of rice, two bowls of chapati, reduce it to one bowl of chapati and one bowl of rice, and start seeing the results. You might see tremendous impact, especially on your overall body fat mass. The body fat mass will start dropping dramatically. You might start seeing results in a couple of, let's say, 3 to 4 weeks. You might start seeing drastic fluctuations on your weighing scale. So weighing scale, it really doesn't matter, guys, unless if you're working out really hard, working concentrating a lot of in diets. it really doesn't matter, right? So now talking about the training. So training, what kind of training should I do? Should I go for push pull leg split? Should I go for bro split? The bro split is one of the worst training routine you can ever opt for, guys. I'm not a fan of bro split, and I would also encourage you guys to stay away from low split because training one body part, one muscle part a day, it doesn't really significantly contribute anything to your body. Forget about the results, it doesn't create any impact also as well. So training one muscle group, I think it's baseless for me to speak anything about it. Presumably you guys might be better understanding better than me. So I would highly recommend going for a push pull leg split, or maybe upper body split, lower body split, or maybe going for a three body part split. Let's say you're training shoulders, chest, and along with that, you can also train traps. That's what I usually go for: shoulders, chest, and traps. The other day, you can go for arms, triceps, forearms. The other day, you can go for back, only back if you want to train intense, or that if you want to train two muscle groups, you can go for back and legs. So back, legs, and calves. Calves also are a major important muscle, guys. So make sure you train them. Do not neglect them. So back, legs, and calves. So these are the training composition. These are the training split. How you can follow effectively, right? Make sure you focus more on the progressive overload, guys. Make sure on the compound lifts. What are compound lifts? Deadlifts, squats, overhead presses, bench press, pull-ups. So these are exercises which target multiple joints in the body. Multiple joints are simultaneously targeted while performing these compound movements. As compared to doing isolation movements like tricep extensions, right, biceps, these exercises primarily target the sole muscle group in the body, and they don't necessarily function any other muscle group in the body, right? So make sure to progressive overload each and every week. Make sure to upstack the weight. Make sure you're training really hard, intense, with short rest periods in between, and having a really good post-workout meal once you finish the workout. Make sure make sure the the meal which you have after post-workout is very crucial, is very important, and make sure you have a sufficient amount of protein, because protein synthesis are one of the bases of muscle growth, muscle inhibitor, and fat reduction. Protein is one of the best. It fills your appetite. You don't feel much hungry about it after later on, let's say after a couple of 4 or 5 hours. So it fills you as compared to having, let's say, carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is essential. So once you take your post-workout meal, you can have your final meal of the day, which would be you can have complex carbohydrates. Along with that, you can have protein intake as well. Make sure you have chicken breast, or maybe uh, mutton, or maybe any sort of sources which contain really high amount of protein. So you make sure you get that 20 grams of protein per body weight. So if you don't know how to calculate your protein grams intake, I will link I will link something in the description, guys. Make sure you go checking that out as soon as possible. So per body weight, you should have at least 1.5 grams of protein, or maybe 1 gram protein per body weight. So let's say if you're unable to meet those sources, um, then it could be really you won't see your results in the I would say it would get delayed a bit, so you, in order to gain maximum amount of results in a short period of time is obviously not possible, so we have to think on the long perspective. So if in the long perspective, if you don't keep get meet our protein requirements, then apparently we end up um, not seem to get results on time. So don't worry, guys. It takes a bit of patience, it takes persistence, it takes consistency, and eventually over the course of 6 to maybe 8 weeks, we can definitely get out of this phase by training really hard. Make sure doing HIT. I wouldn't recommend doing more than 2 sessions. Let's say short burst exercises, burpees, or maybe jumping jacks, duck jumps, which are my favorite. High knees are my favorites. Rope, swimming, bicycling, and basketball are some of the great example sources of doing HIT. But make sure do not over overtrain them. Make sure don't go beyond more than 3 sessions. So keep it below as slow as 2 sessions, and you're good to go. So that's it, guys. I hope you might have gained some valuable information from this video. I hope you had gained some valuable insights, and don't don't think too much about it, guys. Just make sure you are putting in the best amount of efforts you're doing in a day, and you will definitely see the results, potential results, in a couple of weeks by following my tips. Till then, now peace, gains.